It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is, of course, Expresso on S3, and it's so good to have you here because we're going to get into good conversation with great individuals. It's Women's Month, so we have to celebrate women in particular, and we've got a good doc on our couch today, Dr. Sian Proctor. She's a trailblazer in the field of space exploration. Now, she's made history as the first female commercial astronaut spaceship pilot and is also the only African-American woman to hold this title. I mean, that deserves a round of applause in and of itself.
Come on now. Oh, now, Dr. Proctor is also celebrated as the first African-American to paint in space.
Crazy.
It's not a long list. With a passion for inspiring the next generation through her art and STEM and kind of combining the two in an incredible way through the advocacy that she is now driving throughout the world. Hence, she finds herself here in South Africa to share her extraordinary journey. Doc, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure to be here.
Oh, Doc. Okay, so we spoke a little bit off air about something called pre-space and after
Post-space,
space.
yeah.
Post-space.
Wow.
Space life
PS,
Yes.
PS, right? He's just in like 3 words. Can you describe to us what it's like being out there?
Oh, it's the most beautiful, magical experience you can ever imagine. There's nothing like floating and then seeing the Earth from that orbital perspective.
Does it kind of give you perspective about life on Earth?
Definitely.
Oh, my
It changes your
goodness.
perspective completely. It transforms you.
From what perspective?
Yeah.
What was the thing that pressed that button within you? And we'll get into the build-up to this point, but I mean, this moment must have been such a gateway to go through. What was the most surprising thing for you that had you step back and go, wow, okay, I can feel my paradigm shifting now?
It was the realization that I was being bathed in Earth light. Yes. Our planet, our planet is a beautiful radiating ball of energy. So it takes sunlight in and it transforms it into Earth light. And so that sunlight is scattered, it is absorbed, and it's reflected. So when you're in low Earth orbit, you just get bathed in it. And an example is, think about how you feel when a full moon is rising and you walk out in moonlight. Yeah. Right? You love that.
Yeah.
Now, imagine you're in low Earth orbit, being bathed in Earth light, and it's 10,000 times brighter and more beautiful.
Gosh,
We were shining on you for a moment. I love that.
I'm really curious about your journey to becoming an astronaut. I mean, I don't know if it's the same in the US, but in South Africa, I don't know how many children go, I want to be an astronaut, and then actually become an astronaut, right?
Well, there's no line between those 2 points.
No, it's very difficult. And I think most kids at one time think, wow, that would be amazing to go and have this experience. But figuring out that path forward is really challenging. But now with commercial space, access is opening up. And that's what's exciting. More people around the world are getting opportunities to go to space. And I'm fortunate to be one of them.
Yeah.
Well, you are blazing a trail, and I know it's often, I sit here with a lot of our sportsmen and women who are often too close to what's happening, the magic, to fully understand what it's meaning to the rest of us. You've flipped that. You've almost inverted that to say, okay, I'm going to be that. I'm going to be a gateway to show as many young girls in particular that this is possible. But I'm going to do it through art. Now, I can just picture in my head little blobs of art, of paint floating around in a zero gravity. I mean, where did that come from? Presumably you've always had a passion for art.
Well, funny enough, no.
Oh,
it was my entire career. I've been a geoscience professor, a scientist. I looked at the arts and thought, wow, that looks amazing, but I could never do that. A lot of times we say that. But then COVID happened, and COVID forced a lot of people to reach into their creativity. Some people became bakers. I hear bread, banana bread was big.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
And then some pineapple beer even surfaced there, but that was on the wrong end of the spectrum, yeah.
You know, or they were picking up a musical instrument for the first time.
For sure.
I became a space artist and a poet during COVID, and 9 months later, I got selected to go to space because of that.
Wow.
Yes.
And Afrofuturism is kind of the genre that you paint in, right?
That's correct.
Where does that come from?
So just, thinking about my roots and my history and thinking about the future of humanity, but from that Afrocentric lens of like, what does it mean for us, to be able to go there and have a positive future? Because a lot of things like Wakanda, what we were just talking about, that's a positive representation of of Afrofuturism.
For sure.
And yes, exactly. A lot of times we go to dystopian and not good futuristic things. And I love the idea of us thinking positive, inspirational. We can do that. So a lot of my characters are dancing in space.
As one should.
love
As one
Yes.
should in zero gravity.
Right.
Just dance, baby.
Yes.
Just dance. So I recently chaired an amazing discussion about just connectivity at the moment and heard about a small little smart intelligent city in Kenya called Konzo. It's happening. It's happening around us. It's almost like this era is pressing fast forward on Africa and our potential.
Absolutely.
That being said, we need to make that connection. What was the connection for you and how are you trying to highlight that path so that other, in particular, young girls can follow in your footsteps and go to space?
Yeah, you know, what I talk about is my motto a lot, which is space to inspire. So the poem that I wrote that won me a seat to space is called Space to Inspire. And a lot of times people think I'm talking about outer space, but the reality is I'm talking about this space, your unique space to inspire yourself and those around you. So when I talk to young girls and women, I try to encourage them to think about how important their space is and how they can use that to inspire not only themselves but people around them. And then in that course, how do you make your space a Jedi space, a just, equitable, diverse, and inclusive space for all of humanity? And when you make it personal, they feel the connection, like they feel empowered that they can go and do anything.
And I can agree with that because I feel empowered.
And you can
right
back it up. You can
now.
say, if they say, no, well, I can't, you say, well.
Yes, I'm an example.
From exactly this. I wonder if you remember or can recall like a line or two from that poem.
Oh, yes. And so I say, you've got space, I've got space, we all have space to inspire. But I get to this part where I say, we have J for justice, to ignite the bold. We have E for equity, to cut past the old. We have D for diversity, to end the fight. We have I for inclusion, to try to make it right. A Jedi space to rally behind, a universal force so big it binds, inspiration to change the world, a new beginning for us to hold. And it goes on and...
Well, that's why America has twice as many Olympic medals as anyone else, because they are just this BMT pumping through the blood veins. It is not lost on us. As lovely and light as you are right now, I know this has come on some serious gravitas, or lack thereof, above the earth. It is amazing to me. Thank you so much. If people want to connect with you, how can they do that?
You can follow me on Twitter at Dr. Sian Proctor. So Dr. Sian Proctor on Twitter. Well, it's X now. Instagram. Actually, I'm mostly on Instagram. If you want to know, you got to get on the gram.
On the gram. Then, of course, people can speak to you live and large and in charge. Living Math Space Tour 24 happens on the 12th of August. This kind of is less art, more what you do, and science and maths. What are you expecting from that event?
Oh, just being able to connect with everybody locally. I've been having a great time touring around South Africa, meeting so many amazing people, and just inspiring all of the kids in the community.
Yeah, for sure.
We love you.
And we do love you. Oh my God, can she sing? I really hope so. Thank you
Everybody
so
needs a
much,
little
though.
earth light in their life.
Exactly, man.
Tattoo that on your body so you know it's real. Dr. Sian Proctor, thank you so much for being here. Honestly, you've been an inspiration. Another, from one woman of color to another, I'm drawing from you and your light. Thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you. Continue to let your earth light shine.
Oh, thank you. We will do that. Well, Dr. Sian Proctor's journey is just a testament, I think, to perseverance and also creativity, as you heard, and the power of inspiration. I mean, when I think about you will land amongst the stars if you dream big enough, this is exactly
That's
it,
exactly
right?
it. Oh, her achievements in space and her dedication to STEM and now STEAM, because we've thrown art in the mix, that education, and I love this notion of Afrofuturism, are going to continue to spark curiosity and dreams in young minds around the world, in particular here in South Africa. I look forward to interviewing the next young South African astronauts that will be born out of this.
Oh,